上中访谈对话龙门，欢迎大家收看本期节目，我是主持人王依然。这次我们非常荣幸地请到了来自英国雷丁学校的师生代表参与我们的节目。So let me introduce our guests first. They're Ashley Robson, the Vice President of Reading School.
Hello.
Hannah Hayes, the Chinese teacher of Reading School.
你好。
你好。Samuel Hayes and Sarah Hayes, the son and daughter of Mrs. Hayes.
Hello.
对于雷丁学校和雷丁市，同学们可能并不是都非常了解，那就让我先做一个简短的介绍。雷丁市位于英格兰的东南，人口14万5千，面积44.4平方公里。文字的介绍可能略显单薄，那让我们通过一段视频来走进雷丁市。So let's enjoy a short video about Reading. Wow, so through the videos we found out that Reading has many old buildings as well as modern ones. And what impresses me even more is that there are a lot of forests and rivers, which makes it the perfect combination of nature and culture. So to warm up, let's start up with a brainstorm. Where have you been in China before coming here in Shanghai?
Beijing.
Beijing and just Beijing?
Just Beijing, but it was an excellent visit.
So Beijing, Shanghai, and Reading, let's use one or two words to describe those three cities. I'll go first. For Reading, I would choose calm and passionate. And I would use fast to describe Shanghai and ancient for Beijing. So who go first?
Well, I think I would agree with you with Shanghai.
Yeah.
It's fast-moving, modern, a modern city full of energy and vitality, full of life.
And for Beijing or Reading?
Beijing, I think it was foggy,
Yeah.
one word, and also lots of some old buildings, yes, but a lot of new buildings too. Some of the old buildings have been knocked down.
So you were saying foggy and mentioned make me feel like London.
London perhaps 100 years ago. London is not so foggy now. Yes. But sort of political. So Beijing is more political, whereas Shanghai, we think, is sort of more to do with the economy.
Yeah. So for Reading?
For Reading, I think Reading is a large town rather than a large city. So it has many advantages of something that's sort of a medium size. So as you said, as you rightly said, it's a mixture. It has the River Thames, it is near the countryside, but there are many facilities there too. So we think there's a good mixture of Reading.
Yeah, it is. And so what about you, Hayes? Mrs. Hayes?
If I think about Beijing, I think about magnificent Great Wall, beautiful Forbidden City, and my favorite place is the Summer Palace. Talking about Shanghai, I like the Bund, and I think it come to my mind is fast forward, progressive, skyscrapers. And if I think about my home in Reading, I will think about cosmopolitan, free spirit, lots of shoppings.
Yeah, perfect.
And Reading School, of course. We mustn't forget.
Yes, Reading School. Yes, of course.
Yeah. So what about you?
Well, when I think of Beijing, I think it's a very beautiful place, but it's also very crowded. All the roads were very crowded with traffic, and I went on the underground once, and I don't think I could go through that again. Shanghai, well, last year I came, saw the expo, that was great.
So it's the second time come here?
Yes, this is my second time. It's very technologically advanced, and Reading, well, Reading's my home. I can't really describe it.
That means a lot.
Yeah.
So what about you?
Well, likewise, I think that both Shanghai and Beijing are beautiful in their ways. So Beijing's got both modern and ancient aspects about it, whereas Shanghai is quite a modern city. I would say there are quite a few advances. And Reading, well, both Shanghai and Beijing are quite busy, so Reading's quite slow compared to that, but it's also quite calm at times.
Yeah. So there are many differences between those three cities, but we all love them, right? And so that sets the keynote of our talk today. So after knowing briefly about Reading, we just can't wait to know more about your school. Can you describe your school briefly to us?
Of course. Reading School is a boys' school. It has 892 students. All boys.
That's quite precise.
Yes. And they are from age 11 to age 18. And they have to pass, the boys have to pass an exam to come to the school. The exam is in maths and English and in reasoning.
It's really selective.
Yes, it is selective, and we think that's a good thing. It helps to shape the ethos or the thinking or the nature of the school.
So why you choose these three subjects as the testing parts?
Well, I think it's because it gives a wider view of ability, because rather than a really narrow view on one of those things, we think that it's important to have a wide view of intelligence, not just one type of intelligence.
Yeah, so what's the ratio of applying and accepting?
So 500, over 500 would apply, and there was 112 places.
Oh, that's really competitive.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
it's tough to get into.
And I found your school motto is sort of a Latin.
Yes, it's Floreat Redigensis, which means let Reading School flourish.
Wow.
Flourish means to grow, to develop. And although it's an old motto, it's still very true, I think, for today.
Yeah, it's very lively. Yeah, so what about your famous Redingensians? How do you pronounce that?
Yes, old Redigensians. That's old boys of Reading School. Well, we were founded in 1125, so that's nearly 900 years ago. So we have a lot of famous old boys, and we have people that have been prime ministers before, 200 years ago, and important people in the church. But modern famous old boys, you may know Ross Brawn, the Formula One boss, and he is an old Readingensian. He is an old student of Reading School, and we're very proud of him and his achievements.
Yeah. And so we know that both Shanghai High School and Reading School are focusing on cultivating the talented and gifted. So you agree that students possess different extent of talent and should be educated differently?
Yes, I think it's very important that we understand people's potential and we look to try and fulfill their potential. As teachers, our job is to make sure that everybody does their best. Everybody achieves the best that they can do. And that is, we believe at Reading School that is done through people joining together, students joining together and going in the same direction, pushing, working hard, being competitive, but working together. Not so competitive that they're fighting each other, but that they know it's important to work hard at school, but also that you can be gifted and you can be talented in different ways, in academic subjects such as maths and physics and chemistry and biology, but also in creative subjects. We think that's important too, such as music and drama. And also in sport as well. We believe that education is very important, that you have a wide view of education. So people can be gifted and talented in different ways, and it's important that we recognize that and support that.
Yeah, so we can see that students in your school are very outstanding. And what do you think that our students are have the quality that is that eclipse those of other schools?
At Reading School?
Yeah.
Well, I think, yes, we were, in 2010, last year, we were awarded the accolade, the title of State School of the Year. So that's for the schools that are controlled by the state and are funded by the state. And we're very proud of that, because it says that the teachers are doing an excellent job, and especially our students are doing a fantastic job and working hard. So we're very proud of that.
And do you have a special program for like science research?
Yes, we do. We are involved in the Science Olympiads and the Maths Olympiads, and we are very pleased with how our students are doing that. But I must say that at Shanghai High School, you are better than us at the
thank you.
So we have to learn from. We hope this week to learn from how you help develop and stretch your students to do so well. So we are looking to learn from you.
We'll of course learn from each other.
I think that's very important.
Yeah.
We can both learn from each other, I agree.
Thank you. And Mrs. Hayes, we learned that before coming to UK, you've taught in Taiwan as well, right?
Yes, I did.
So do you think that teaching in Taiwan and in the United Kingdom has something different? Like, does the feeling or experiences change?
I was teaching in a secondary school in Taiwan as well. There are many differences.
Yeah.
First of all, I used to teach big classes. I had 50 students in my class. So it's a complete different way of managing the class. And I was young at the time as well. Young and attached, So I had lots of time spending lots of time with my students. And also different way of teaching is I was teaching English in Taiwan.
Oh.
So I use lots of drama, songs, and films in my teaching. But I use similar approach when I was teaching Chinese in England.
Yeah.
And because there's similarity between teaching languages, and it was quite fun for me to explore the differences.
And so we believe that there must have been some differences between students in Taiwan and in Britain, right?
Yeah, the Taiwanese students in Taiwan, they are probably more obedient.
Obedient.
I'm sure that's true. I'm sure that's true.
Probably show more obedience on the outside.
Introverted.
And they're a little bit worried about asking questions or challenge teachers' teaching. And it's quite difficult things may have changed because I'm talking about many years ago.
Yeah.
I think at the time my students were very worried about asking the wrong questions. But I think British students, they don't worry about asking even silly questions. But that's good. There are pros and cons.
If using like 3 words to describe the students in Taiwan and the students in Britain, what would you choose?
How do I describe them?
Yeah.
Gosh, this is a very big question. I can't really sum it up in 1 word or 2 words.
Just a brief feeling.
The Taiwanese students, intelligent. English students are also intelligent.
Yes, sure.
The Taiwanese students are respectful to their teachers. English students, I think they are respectful as well, but I think
in different ways.
In different ways,
yeah.
They have different ways of showing their respect.
So Taiwan students are more like obey to their like 孔子之道, right?
Yeah, Confucius.
Yeah, Confucius.
I think because Confucianism influenced people's thinking. People will respect people just because they are senior or they are older.
Did you stay in mainland for some while?
Sorry?
Did you stay in mainland for some while, like just apart from Taiwan, the mainland?
Mainland China?
Yeah.
No, I never stay in mainland China, but I come for visit many times. This is probably my 8th or 9th visit.
So what's your impression of students here?
The Chinese students here?
Yeah.
So far, I found the Chinese students, they are very polite and very passionate. We have some dealings with some schools in Beijing, and they are very warm. I actually found them quite international, and they speak very good English, very outspoken, and they are quite brave to show their feelings.
Oh.
And very hard, if I must say, very hard working too. A very long day and a great deal of homework. So I think it's a very long day and very hard for the students, I think.
So what's the school time for you in your school?
We start at 8:20 in the morning and finish at 3:25.
Oh, that's rather short compared to...
But actually it's longer than most English secondary schools by about 30 minutes a day. So, and also our students have about 2 hours homework a night rather than, say, 3 or 4 that you have.
Well, so like for higher education, you can go to either liberal arts college or university. So which one would you personally prefer?
Well, I think liberal arts college is more of an American thing. Really, it's we would say university. You go to university, and it would depend. In the same university, you could have a wide range of courses. So you could have liberal arts courses or humanities courses such as history and geography, and in the same university you could also read or study physics or medicine or engineering. So our universities, most of them cover many different areas of the subject. So the choice really is the subject and then the institution.
Oh, so like for the college, students have to enter a variety of standard tests, right? Like A-level and IB?
That's right, yes. The English national education system is based on A-levels and AS. AS are halfway to the A-levels. They're worth 50% and taken at the age of 17. And then the rest of the exams are taken at the age of 18. And that's based on 3 or 4 subjects. And to go to a good university, you need the top grades. You need all A grades, or we have a new grade now called an A star. And in some universities, you need the A star, where you need a very high mark to get into. That's really tough to get into. That's the A level. And also some schools, like Reading School, have done the International Baccalaureate or the IB. And I know that your international section of Shanghai High School study the IB as well. And that's 6 subjects. So that's quite different to the A level. The A level is narrower but more specialist, and the IB is wider. So it's the difference between 4 subjects and 6 subjects. So that's where the choice is. If you're very good at languages, history and geography, you can choose those subjects, or if you want to focus and concentrate on science and maths, you can do that. So it's very good because it caters for all different types of students, and we think that's very important.
Thank you. So from the Wikipedia, we find that your school teach Chinese as well as ancient Greek. And so what's the character of students who are likely to choose Chinese?
My students, there are a lot of my students. You know, I think they love different culture. They are more receptive to different things in life, and I think that's great value to have in life. At the moment, my year 10, I got 10 Chinese students, Mandarin students. They're all very keen to learn Chinese and very enthusiastic about the language, and they're actually all here in Shanghai. And this trip actually make them even more motivated to learn more.
Yeah,
definitely. As they've learned so much already in their time in China, and they make notes if they're not sure of a word, and they ask someone and they write it down because they want to learn all the time. Because learning Chinese is hard, and they are doing I think we would call them our gifted and talented students, because they're doing a course that takes 4 years, and they're doing the course in 2 years.
That's really impressive.
So we are very pleased with their progress. And Mrs. Hayes is an excellent teacher, because it's hard to do a lot of learning if you don't have excellent teachers. So that's important, I think.
Yeah. So
thank you.
Pleasure.
What figure of Chinese, both the language itself and the culture as a whole, would you like to leave on your students? What impression would you like to give them?
I think language itself, I try to, because as you know, Mr. Robson just mentioned, we're actually doing a very compact, very fast-paced language course, because within 2 years they have to achieve GCSE level. My last 2 years, all my students have achieved A stars, except one got only A. But they're all working very hard. I think with the language teaching, as a language teacher, I hope my students, they learn to listen and speak, read and write Chinese. Yeah. And they are able to communicate with local people. And hopefully in the future they can further their study. And during my teaching, I also try to introduce various elements of Chinese culture into my teaching. So I want them to not only just love the language, they also love the culture and love the people. Yeah. And hopefully in the future they can advance their studies, so they can even appreciate the history and geography and even the Chinese literature.
And also, one of the ways in which Mrs. Hayes introduces Chinese culture into her lessons is through Chinese food. You can sometimes go into a lesson and they could be making food, they can be eating food, and it's fantastic to see. And then that's of course been built on by their experience of the wonderful Chinese cuisine that they've been experiencing in the last 2 weeks here.
That's one of the best part of about China, I think. So compared with China, the United Kingdom has more schools that's only for boys or for girls. So some people may question that students should meet with both boys and girls, so that they will be living in this circumstance where more like what they will really face with in the society. So what do you think?
Well, I agree. It's very important that boys and girls meet each other, but research shows that separate boys and girls schools, the students work harder. And as long as they're given opportunities to meet each other outside of school, it might be through joint visits or joint theatre trips or theatre events or drama events, or discos or dances, that it's important that boys and girls meet in a natural way.
There are still opportunities for them to meet.
There are definitely still opportunities, and sometimes the schools are right next to each other, just across the road from each other. So they have opportunities to meet before school or after school.
So what do you think that is the advantage over the other schools that have both boys and girls?
Well, I think that boys and girls develop at different rates, in different stages and at different times. Yeah. So girls, I think, are more mature more quickly than boys. But boys sometimes are very loud and can shout above the girls. So the girls who might be better students, I think, I'll keep quiet, I won't ask a question, I won't answer a question. But they can feel more confident when they're in an all-girls situation. In a classroom with all girls, because they can answer questions in a more confident way. So
just for education, you think they should be educated separately?
I think it's a good thing. It can be a good thing. It's not the only way, and there are many very good schools in England that are mixed schools, but there are advantages to single-sex schools, boys or girls schools.
From Wikipedia and your school website, we find that your school is students there are shooting very high marks, and I know Sarah is also coming from a very top girls' school, right? And so I know the competition must be very fierce. So do you think school is more like a place which is full of competition, or it's more like a home, since they're boarding school? Yeah.
Well, our school It's quite competitive, yes. We have a house system as well, with 4 houses. Each student gets put in a house, and the houses compete against each other.
Wow, it's like a game.
Yes, kind of. Every house. Okay.
So they're painted in different colors, right?
Yes. We have 4 houses. There is East, West, School, and County. We have house competitions, like in sport or music, where the houses compete against each other, and at the end of the year, the house that does the most, earns the most points, wins the Cockhouse Cup.
So will they have some awards, for the winning part, for the winning house?
Yes.
So how is it?
There's an award for every competition that a house wins, such as senior rugby or house music or whatever, and there's a cup for the winning house overall, and also for like juniors and seniors and colts within the houses.
And so what about you, Sarah?
Kendrick also has houses, but only 3. There's Palmer, Cedars, and Sidmouth. So we also have some competition, but I think it's about a healthy dose of competition. Not too much, but enough so that people enjoy having fun, compete against each other in a friendly way. Yes.
Well, it is discussed heatedly on the internet that there is a phenomenon called Tiger Mom. That is, parents are really strict with their kids because they have really high expectation for them. So do you think you're having sort of sacrifice for your brighter future?
I wouldn't say sacrifice. I'd say a brighter future is what we all must really strive for, really. And if that means that today I need to work hard so that tomorrow I can relax, I'm happy with that. I would rather have my mum be there edging me on, getting me to do stuff, rather than sit at the back and kind of watch me fail.
So what's your dream for the future?
Well, my dream is to earn lots of money and live a happy life. No, I wouldn't say earn lots of money, really. I'd say live a happy, fulfilling life where I do most of my goals.
Yeah.
If not all.
Wish you success.
Thank you.
So what about you?
Oh no. Well, about the Tiger Mums, I don't think that. Well, most parents in England are really almost soft. They're nothing like Tiger Mums, but so like there is some stricter parents, but I think that like my brother is good for you, so that you'll actually do something and you won't just sit there. But nothing too extreme. No.
No, I think that many parents in England guide their sons and their daughters. They cope from behind and try and gently guide them with the hand in the right direction. If they tried to force them to do something, the sons and the daughters would say, no, I'm not going to do that. So you have to encourage your sons and daughters, I think, to make the right decisions and support them in that.
Yeah, it's very wise of you.
Channel them to the right direction.
Yes, that's right. Channel them. Good.
Yeah, thank you. So what do you do in your spare time? Like community jobs or...
every Tuesday and Thursday I go kickboxing. That lasts for an hour and is quite enjoyable. Blue belt now. Also, every Friday I do badminton with the school. And every other Saturday I'm in a choir, so I practice in my choir.
So sports plays a really important role in your life?
Well, I'm not really a sporty kind of person. I
you
only
play a lot of sports.
I only really play badminton, and I don't count kickboxing as a sport. I more kind of count it as a hobby. But yeah, for some people in England, sport takes quite a lot of priority in their lives. They enjoy doing sports, and it's also watching sports as well on TV.